Hi everyone, welcome. Today's video we are going to review cameras. I am showcasing right now a camera view that I am going to recreate, hopefully, and I'm going to show you obviously creating that camera, saving it in the scenes or as a scene, giving it a name, and double checking its field of view. Let's get busy. Okay, so one thing I want to point out, there's actually two things I want to point out. One, toolbars wise, I have turned on my large tool set. I wasn't using this off on the left hand side, but now that I'm creating cameras, it's just really nice and easy to see the zoom tool and position camera and look around tool very close. So it's kind of easy selecting. So that is something new that you haven't seen in previous videos of mine in SketchUp, and you're going to find and see on my horizontal toolbars at the top of the interface. They're very similar to what's on the large tool set. There's just a couple more options that are pretty welcomed when it comes to creating cameras. Okay, the other thing that you're seeing is, and again, I never ever pointed this out, was I also have turned on views. I actually pulled it from it being docked at the top of my interface, just so you guys can see. I'm going to show you how I begin with cameras. I think it makes creating cameras in SketchUp easier and a little less work. But maybe a few more steps at the front of the setting up. Okay, or process, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to jump into an isometric view. My ceiling is on, as you can see, and I am going to select it, and I am going to right click, and I'm going to hide it. It doesn't help me having it on, even though once I make the camera or create the camera and once I save it as a scene, I'm definitely going to turn it back on. But for the time being, of course, I need to see what's inside my model. Okay, one more added piece is I noticed when I was making my cameras that this wall here did not exist. In fact, you can see that I did not turn it into a group. What I did was I literally went ahead and selected this wall that I do have as a group. I made it as a copy, or created it as a copy. So again, move tool, I selected that point. I went ahead and hit the control key once, and I placed that here, and then I exploded the group, and then I just pushed and pulled it to make it a longer length. The reason why I did that is I didn't like in my camera view, let me show you the camera view again, I didn't like the empty space that was back here, and I didn't realize it in class when we were together. So I just closed that up a little bit for nothing more than I just wanted to look a little cleaner once I do have a camera view. Okay, I am going to delete the scene that I've already created, no worries. I have my windows on, my ceiling off. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Okay, so what I like to do, and I started showing this to you guys a little bit in class, is yes, certainly we can use the position camera, and I still use the position camera to place the camera. What you need to do when you use the position camera is you need to make sure wherever you're placing it, the plane in which you're placing it, make sure it's not snapping accidentally to a wall or a window, a wall, furniture. Or actually, the furniture is honestly sitting on the XY plane, so that would be okay. But still, try to, if you can, make sure no object snaps are popping up or interference or inference points popping up. It'll make life a little easier. But what I find is much easier than that, and to save me that heartache, is I am going to jump into a top view. So the reason why this view toolbar is so important is in a top view, I get this view. It's a perspective top view, so it's not completely two-dimensional. I still have some three-dimension to it, but what it allows me to do is I could select my position camera, and I can place literally my camera just like this, and I am hitting a point, but I believe that point is on the floor on the XY plane, so I should be okay. It is. This will happen, and you will go, okay, this does not look good. No, feel free, grab what is called, and actually what should happen is you should see an eye floating around. That is the look around tool that's right next to position camera. I am going to move to the left with my look around camera, or look around tool I should say, and as soon as I kind of 180 move, you can see that literally at the very, very bottom of my interface, the eye height is 5'6", which is average eye level, which is what we want. I can see my millwork, I can see my drop ceilings, I see some columns, mostly walls. What I am missing, of course, like I told you guys, is I did turn off my ceiling, so I'm going to turn on and unhide all. Looks good. I am missing furniture throughout, but I can update my scene at a later time. I am missing artwork on the walls. I can update my scene anytime. I am missing material applied, or any materials applied. So again, I can update my scene at a later time. So I like what I see. I do actually want a camera in this corner so that I could see this side of your wall and this side of your wall, and really kind of the activity that's happening throughout. If by chance you want to step a little further back, and why I say a little is I know I'm probably a foot in front of the exterior wall or the column. I think it's the round column. So what you can do if you want to just play a little, which I highly recommend, just go back to, not position camera, but you want to go back to zoom, and literally I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I am going to just step back a little bit, and you guys could see immediately I am in my exterior glass wall, exterior wall, if you will. So I'm just going to step right back a little bit at a time, and you're kind of going to see it kind of fade away, come back, and it might be, yeah, now I'm in the column. So I really was right in front of this column. Don't mind me. Hold on, I'm getting there, hang on, there it is. So yeah, it looks like I really can't step back, unfortunately. I'm doing the same thing I just did a second ago, sorry. Try to test it a little bit more. Okay, almost there. Okay, I don't want to go any further back because now I'm scared. Okay, I can't. Okay, and again, you know, there's never a time I position a camera and don't play a little bit, especially first with the field of view. You guys can see in the lower right hand corner, my field of view was, I believe, either 32 or 35. It's now 42.23 degrees. You will never go, you know, 75, 80 degrees with your field of view. It just distorts too much. When you're dealing with smaller spaces, and of course we're going to have, as interior designers, many smaller spaces than this, you definitely will need to play with the field of view so you can see more of the space, especially to your peripheral of the left side and the right side. But this is good. I can play, I can add, I can keep going. So immediately what I want to do is on the right hand side of my interface where it says default tray under scenes, I want to add a scene. And I want to rename it. I don't really have to select rename. As you guys saw, I'm scrolled down enough that you can actually see the properties to this scene. And I am going to name this. You can do, you know, camera view 1, or if you know the direction, camera, you know, northwest view, you know, whatever is going to make you remember the scene in which you created. And I kind of always will say this to you guys, make sure you tab out of renaming. I have not tabbed out, and I've actually lost scenes in the past, so be careful of that. Sometimes SketchUp, as we know, can be a little sensitive. And of course I am going to save my model. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top view. I am going to scroll out just a little bit because of course I turned my ceiling on. I want to hide that really quick. So I do want one camera at that corner that I just created, right here, right in front of that column, in front of the exterior wall. And then I want another camera right here in between the millwork island that we first created and that rectilinear structural column, so right here. So again, same steps. I'm going to select position camera. I'm going to snap right there. It's going to bring me into basically looking straight past and through the exterior windows, and my look around tool is automatically selected and applied, and I'm just going to veer to the right. like this. And again, in the lower right hand corner right now, as you guys look, you can see it says eye height 5'6". Wonderful. That's exactly what I want to lock into. I like this. I want to see your exterior windows. I want to see that wall. Basically that is to the west of the plan. And of course you guys already have placed most of your furniture. I still need to do that, and a lot of you I've noticed have already applied materials, so we're doing great. So I like the scene. I like that I get a little bit of column off on the left hand side. Everything is nice and straight. I do need to unhide my ceiling, so again, under the edit, pull down, unhide, I always do all. Kind of just defines the space a little bit better. And again, like you guys have seen in my default tray to the right of the interface, I'm just going to hit that little plus, and I'm going to rename this pretty much camera view, and I'm going to say exterior windows, which is going to remind me of what I've created. And then again, snap out of it, and of course save. So again, as I add to this, so you know, there's nothing wrong with putting art also on this wall. As I add materials, as I position those cylinders to place future people, for the most part I can just right click on my scene and I could say update scene, and it'll automatically update for me, and this little pop-up window will pop up. I always just make sure that everything is checked on. And then I say update, and of course I save my SketchUp model. So hopefully this was a good intro explanation on creating cameras and getting as wide of a view as possible. In this camera view I didn't even explain, I feel like this looks good, but again, if I wanted to step back just a little bit more, I could select my zoom tool. The field of view right now is 42.23, which is remembering what we last did. So if I hold down shift and I pull, and when I say pull, my shift key is being held down with my left hand. My right hand, the index finger is holding down the index, the left hand side button on my mouse. And obviously you could see that, you know, I could step this far back. However, my field of view is at 70, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel a little distortion is somewhat happening. So I'm going to hold my shift key again. I'm going to hold the left side of my mouse, and I'm just get to about here. I kind of like this, actually. It's a little still distorted. This arced millwork counter is a little stretched, but I kind of like that I would see all of your beautiful furniture. I think that will look great. Okay, so again, all I need to do here is I just right click on the scene I saved. I say update scene. Everything is checked on. I say update, and you're going to see your little thumbnail update also with it. And then again, I might close this project. I might work on some other things. My day might pass. I might open it again, and I might feel like, now that I see my furniture, now that I see my art, now that I see the material place, I might play with the field of view even more. Nothing wrong with that, literally. You know, again, a client is going to see this that might not be visual, and so literally we do what we can. So again, and anytime, right click, update scene, and update the actual file, and of course save. Okay, again, I kind of stopped short, but I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if it was helpful. Please like it. I appreciate the likes because it makes me realize what I need to talk about and what I don't need to talk about, and if this is easily followed. And please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or if I could show you anything more, which I very much appreciate. Okay, talk and see you in the next video, guys. Bye.